Palisa and Kibuku district in eastern Uganda are some of the poorest districts, mainly because of poor governance that has adversely affected service delivery in the key sectors of infrastructure, education, and health, among others. In recent years, however, service delivery is slowly improving because of deliberate interventions of ActionAid and other partners. ActionAid Uganda is currently implementing the 5th strategic paper called Strengthening Struggles for Social Justice, running from 2018 to 2022, focusing on empowering people living in extreme poverty and other vulnerable communities to engage and demand for their rights and accountability of government services.
In our programming, People's Action to Democratic Governance is to make sure that people are engaging in the development processes, to ensure that resources are fully accounted for by the leaders and other duty bearers within their areas and localities. So because they pay taxes, they need to know the connection between the taxes that they are paying and the services that they're receiving. Our major focus is to ensure that public services are publicly funded, that is number one. They are equitable, that's number two, and then they are accessible to all people, regardless of your sexual orientation, your age, your gender.
ActionAid Uganda, with funding from Democratic Governance Facility, Hills and Cooks families, and supporters from Spain, supports communities in Palisa and the Kibuku districts to fully participate in the planning, budgeting, and monitoring processes.
We work around guaranteeing rights, and to guarantee rights, we work around redistribution of resources and redistribution of power, and to make sure that that happens, that resources are redistributed and power is redistributed to the local person, to the poor person. We need to make that person resilient of any kind of intimidation, resilience of the environment, resilient against intimidation, resilient against any kind of negativity that can make them lose their self-esteem, so that they be able to challenge this negative power.
Since the beginning of 2019, ActionAid has trained 80 community monitors and activists from 8 sub-counties to use participatory tools like Community Scorecard to track the performance of different government sectors, identify gaps, and recommend alternatives and create spaces for communities to hold their leaders accountable.
I have acquired several skills. I have now acquired communication skill, how to approach the community. I have acquired skills on writing reports. I have acquired a skill on how to monitor government programs. I have acquired skills on how to make a follow-up on all government programs.
The selfless efforts of these community monitors, coupled with an empowered population ready to fight for their rights, has led to a significant improvement in the quality of service delivery in key sectors like education, health, works, and agriculture. Apongole Health Center 3, which receives an average of 700 patients every month, has been struggling with several challenges which had impacted on its capacity to provide quality health services to the community.
When we came, we conducted a scorecard. And through that scorecard, we were in position to identify challenges, of which part of it was basically lack of enough staff quarters, lack of enough pit latrines for the staff. We did have power in the OPD. The latrine at the maternity ward was really poorly constructed, and the in-charge himself was too rare at the health facility.
After identifying these challenges, the community monitors, with support from ActionAid, organized a dialogue meeting of all the stakeholders to map the way forward.
When ActionAid came in, we really had to bring these people on board, and the achievements we registered up to date in the OPD, it is fully lighting, courtesy of ActionAid. And on top of that, we have been in position to register success in the attendance of the staff. Then when we go to the issue of the pit latrines for the staff, still they task the sub-county. And as I speak, they put it in their budget of this financial year.
we're having between 20 to 30 deliveries per month. But now our deliveries are in 50, 60. There's a very big difference. Immunization, we're struggling with raising the DPT3, but now it has gone high. We are around 85% of our DPT coverage, but I know we are going to raise it there. But even before that, it was about 60, something like that, which wasn't good at all. But we have now improved. So by holding us accountable, we are able to improve our services. And as we are able to correct our mistakes, our inefficiencies, we are able to correct them and improve the service.
Obutet Health Center too had a very big challenge of accommodating mothers and their children during time for immunization and other mass health campaigns at the health facility.
Our mothers used to bring children here for immunization, and they had no shelter to rest from. So when we raised our voice, the sub-counter happened to allocate 6 million shillings for the construction of this immunization shed you are seeing. Now, when the contractor was identified, the first day I just saw a truck of failing material like bricks. We found that most of the bricks were half-baked. I gave these people a stop up. I told them stop failing these fake bricks to the site. They went and bought fair bricks. Our mothers are now able, since it is the rainy season, and they can come and wait for immunization of the children in this building.
We used to have a very big challenge here in this dispensing room. We used to have just the feces from the bats, waste from the bats dropping here, and this place was a very dirty environment. It's now a clean environment because our ceiling board was renovated by the sub-county, and it's now a clean place.
Palisa Township Primary School had the challenge of shortage of desks, latrines and pupils used to move up to 2 kilometers to access safe, clean water. However, liaising with the community monitors, the school now has this borehole, latrine and desks, which has significantly improved the learning environment.
The community monitors are doing a very good job because without their constructive ideas, much as they don't give any cash there, but they bring very good constructive ideas to the school. The issue of trespassing has reduced. They are the ones who helped again on the issues of desks. Not only that, they also advised the school to begin a feeding program and constructing at least a shelter where the food will be prepared. And they continued advising the school that please get the source of water, and that one also was done.
Vigilance from community monitors and the school management committee from foundation level have ensured that this 2-classroom block in Omulatan Primary School conformed to the quality construction standards.
We learned that Omalutan Primary School had a crack in the building before it was a day for commissioning. So we engaged the community through a use of a scorecard. We generated the community complaints. Then we raised this complaint to the responsible duty bearers at the sub-county level. And the constructor admitted that he did a shadow work in Omalutana Primary School. After admitting, he came and reconstructed. He broke the part which was already cracking. Then he redid it, and the building now is okay.
The 2-classroom block that is only waiting for commissioning will increase on the number of classrooms. This will go a long way in reducing chronic congestion that has adversely affected performance of the school. Katirio Primary School has an enrollment of over 1,000 pupils, but because of lack of enough pit latrines, teachers were sharing with pupils and some pupils were engaging in open defecation in nearby gardens. This posed a health risk, but the situation was averted because of the concerted efforts of the community monitors.
The problem of pit latrines led the pupils to the extent that they could go in the cassava plantations of the community members around and had open defecation, which was too bad, and the issue was raised up to the sub-county, So in the due course, that's why the intervention of a new pit latrine was urgent and was cared for by the district.
The female teachers had to share with the girls, and then the male teachers had to share with the boys. But just of recent, due to frequent monitoring of members from ActionAid, we managed to have at least one 5-lined stance pit latrine.
The community monitors are now championing for the reconstruction of this classroom block that collapsed due to the recent heavy rains before the new term opens. These successes have been as a result of the diligence and commitment of the different stakeholders and district local governments at all levels of governance. By working together, they have fostered an environment of accountability, priority planning, and quick responses to issues raised by the community.
These community monitors do a good work in order to help people in the villages.
Poor funding to local governments is the biggest impediment to improved service delivery and accountability, which has affected good governance at different levels. There is need for substantial funds to be given to the local governments because this is where services are needed the most.
Some of these things should be increased so that the local government can be able to invest this money in public service, be able to construct schools, be able to construct health centers, be able to recruit civil servants. We want to engage very aggressively with our central government and with support of our national office to engage in improved funding of local government.